This week's MSM Draw is brought to us by MSM Sponge. Submit a drawing prompt with the hashtag MSM Draw in this video, and there's a chance it'll be drawn in the next one. Alright class, settle down. Let's begin today's lesson of what's in a name. The two monsters that we're going to be looking at today are the Entbrat and the Creepuscule. Let's start with the Entbrat. The name Entbrat is a combination of the two words Ent and Brat. Ents are mythological tree creatures and can be seen in The Lord of the Rings. And as for Brat, well, the My Singing Monster developers wanted to make a monster that looked like the bratty child of an Ent. As we can see from the original concept design of an Entbrat, they nailed that pretty well. But of course, the Entbrat evolved into its more modern form today, and so the name doesn't really match up anymore. The first possible name that an Entbrat can be given is Bardolph, and that's inspired from the Shakespearean character Bardolph, who is very big and clumsy and is often the comic relief. Entbrat is also big and clumsy and not notably intelligent. The name Bertilda is usually used as a woman warrior's name. It could be possibly Viking in origin, and if we look at the Entbrat and its tree horns, it looks vaguely Viking-like. Fori is just a shortening of the word forest. Garble references the Entbrat's voice. Hagar is a reference to Harry Potter. In the book, there's a guy called Hagrid who takes care of all the magical monsters, and sometimes he's called Hagar. Heft just means heft, which is bulky or fat. Look at the Entbrat's belly. Horus. This is another Harry Potter reference. It could be inspired off of Horace Slughorn, and in the original books, his illustration shows him to be very fat and bald, just like the Entbrat. Horns. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Klamek is just a misspelling of the word stomach. La is his voice, his song. Morin is a misspelling of the word moron because Entbrats are not known for their intelligence. Mulch. Mulch is a shredded up bark substance taken from trees used for fertilization, so it fits the entire plant genre. Saba comes from a Hebrew word meaning old man. The Entbrat has a leaf beard and is bald. Santler just means antlers, and Stefford comes from this Greek word which means a wreath, like a laurel wreath, which the Entbrat has around his shoulders. And Vardet comes from this Hebrew term which means rose, which also fits because the Entbrat is a plant. The Creepuscule species name has quite a few origins. It's a combination of the three terms crepuscular, creepy, and corpuscle. Crepuscular means coming out at night, or twilight, and creepy, you know what that is, the Creepuscule is absolute nightmare fuel, and corpuscle references a sort of skin gland or abnormality beneath the skin. Do not look up pictures on Google. One of the first possible names that a Creepuscule can get is Bella. It's Spanish for beautiful, which is ironic because the Creepuscule is anything but it also references the character Bella Swan from the popular TV show Twilight. Brontog is a combination of the words Brontosaurus and Og. Brontosauruses have very long necks, just like the Creepuscule, and Og is a sort of sound file. It's also an inspiration behind the naming of this dog. Brusque is a misspelling of the word brusque. It means to be blunt or curt. And Carlisle is a reference to the character Carlisle Cullen, who is also a character in Twilight. Creepo is obviously a reference to the channel Creeptanium. No, I'm kidding. It just means creepy. Cullen is the last name of the Cullen family in Twilight. It could be possibly referencing Edward Cullen, who is the protagonist of the TV show. And Chugrin is a combination of the words chew and grin, two things that the Creepuscule excels at. But it also, when you say it together, sounds like chagrin, which means annoyance. Hagosaur is a portmanteau of hag and dinosaur. And crystal references the crystal plate that the Creepuscule makes its sound on. Renesmee is a reference to the character Renesmee Cullen, also from the TV show Twilight. And Shrag is a combination of the three terms shag, hag, and rag. Torisa is toe, and obviously Teresa. Now, apparently there's not a character from Twilight called Teresa, but there is one from a game called Twilight Paladin. And finally there's Toenail, which is just a misspelling of toenail, which the Creepuscule has. So we can see that most of the names of the Creepuscule reference people from the Twilight series. This is further expanded upon in the bio of the Creepuscule, and as we know, crepuscular does mean twilight. Well, there's the bell, so it looks like we're out of time for today. Class dismissed. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this new look into the life of your host, Wiblix the Wubbox. It certainly won't be the last. If you like what you saw, and want to see more content of a similar nature, then consider liking and subscribing so I can share my content with more people. Did you see anything I got wrong in my studies, or do you have anything to note? Let me know in the comments. You have been watching the channel Creeptanium, and I will see you guys later.